We see the markets react to this. Are the markets out in front? I mean, look at gold just as one example. We've seen the gyrations in gold under 1,300 today. There's the moonshot in gold that we've seen off the announcement. Dr. Harris, these markets seem to be all correlated. Are the markets following the Fed, or is the Fed following the markets as indicator?
Well, I think the markets are trying to get ahead of the Fed on this. And again, if you're not going to taper at this meeting, you could make an argument that they won't taper until you get a new chair in next year.
Key statement. Do they do this until Neil Sass is selected as chairman of the Fed?
Mr.
Jersey works for Neil Sass.
How did he get to 218 without talking about Janet Yellen? She's going to follow through with this.
One would imagine that she would be more dovish than some of the other candidates that have been discussed, certainly. But yeah, Tom's going to show you a chart that I think is probably the most interesting thing out of it.
Here's the pro chart. Let's suggest that Yellen's down here. These are all the ducks lined up. 2016, and this is what? Plosser, Fisher, Blacker. But this is actually what the Fed puts out that the pros look at, the distribution of opinions in our central bank. Is this a more fractious distribution than other central banks?
I think it probably is a more fractious distribution. And it's going to be, next year, you've got an interesting situation because you have two regional reserve bank hawks going on the FOMC in February and one hawk coming off. Next year, it's not going to be 1 dissent if they don't want to taper. It's going to be 2 dissents. And possibly building, because you're going to have some new governors on next year.
This is exciting as Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates.
Which would be very exciting. What about Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox?
That would be the World Series long shot.